All right. I should be live. At least that is what the internet is telling me, so. Yay. I will need to share out the stream quickly. Um, yeah, I need to share out the stream quick. And today we're going to be working on Windows stuff. Sorry, I need to chill out my stream. We struggle to and then one more person. Should probably actually start scheduling this and treating it a little more seriously, but it's kind of nice to just be able to do it whenever. Here, 80 stats. Okay. Now everything should be good. This is the Telegraph plugin we'll be working with today, but what the heck have I been doing? Actually, I'm playing non-copyright sounds, so I can actually turn up the music a bit. There we go. Should be fine. Maybe a little quieter. There. Alright. So what has Shiftmon been up to? Let's go to the commits. Ansible Galaxy stuff has been fixed. Yeah. Okay. So now the role will actually publish itself out of GitLab CI. So every time I make a commit, it will try to publish it to Galaxy. I need to change this so that it only runs this CI step when the Galaxy file changes. Otherwise, it fails, and GitLab might get in trouble for spamming the Galaxy API. But feature Matthias' problem. Yeah, this is all struggling with that, but it's finally done. Excuse me. More CI struggles. Some minor bug fixes. Oh, I had hard-coded variables. The hardest part about using the Grafana provisioning API is that you have to use a fully provisioned dashboard. You can't use the default one. But so CI steps do more. In the CI pipeline, it runs Ansible, Lint, and an infrastructure as code tool called Kix, which basically prevents you, or it can either tell you or prevent you from committing secrets into Git or tell you when you do it, and other infrastructure as code mistakes. Similar tools are I know there's a Terraform specific one, and then there's a really popular one called Sync that can actually integrate into your IDE and all that good stuff. And it's actually what GitLab uses in the ultimate tier for your infrastructure as code scanning. This one's really nice. For the libvirt dashboard, it actually shows you how much available memory this is. So last stream, Sleuth was telling me I should run a Dendrite server at home, which if he shows up on stream again, I'm guessing he'll be like, hey, you need to host your own Matrix server, you lazy bum. And I will be like, yeah, but look at how much, like 70% memory, that's kind of pushing it. And then I look and I'm like, oh, I can totally deal with this because I have like 16 free gigs of RAM, which is plenty. Um, and there are other situations where you could run into it. Like if you have a big chunky libvirt host, and it's like 70% full, but it has uh, like a terabyte of RAM, it's like, oh, I could still put a few virtual machines in here and be fine. Some more vSphere config pruning, and I found a better way to monitor ESXi stuff. There was a client that was doing some stuff, and the numbers didn't work out for CPU and memory usage, and that's because the cluster health that it pulls doesn't actually get like the load on the ESXi host. It's really dumb. VMware in general, I do not like that much, but they're really popular in industry, so I kind of support it. And also, hey, guess what I'm supporting today? Windows Performance Monitoring. So that'll be cool. Um, and then while I was spinning up Windows today and testing some stuff, I noticed that restarting Telegraph wasn't happening at the end of a deploy, which is bad. There probably is an idempotent way to do this for like, or I shouldn't say idempotent. Eh, a more elegant way would be to like detect if Telegraph is in a restarted state and then set a variable. But restarting Telegraph really isn't that destructive, so whatever. So what I've been up to today is setting up a dummy Active Directory domain, and we are going to set up performance monitoring. But I think one thing I should do first is tweak the Windows config for like how I'm monitoring Windows hosts. So, because I did a bunch of refactoring for like, wow, Telegraph configs. Let's do that. I've done a bunch of stuff to minimize the amount of ball honky that out with put these side by side. All this nonsense. Oh, I fixed a bunch of bugs on Docker too, so now Docker host data actually shows up. I was doing some funky stuff with queries that don't work, so now Docker mostly works. And next stream, I think I'll finish getting that squared away. Okay, so exec should be getting shipped out. So let's compare. Okay, so CPU. So CPU didn't really have a bunch of bloat, I guess. Disk. Let's stop mem. Yeah, there it is. So memory, there's a bunch of stuff, and disk I/O, there's a bunch of stuff that we can use to reduce cardinality. So we'll do this. Inputs.net. Ignore protocol stats. Oh, geez. That's actually a big deal. I don't even think you can do swap on Windows. But yeah. I wonder why this one's not showing up. This one's not showing up in my test VM I set up today. So before stream today, I set up Active Directory, which is something I've actually never had to do from scratch. So there is an Active Directory host, and I'm going to go through and at least start gathering data on certain performance counters that I think are valuable, and then eventually add that into the PowerShell script. So I haven't heard great things about running Ansible on Windows, so I think for Windows I need to stick with PowerShell because that seems to be like what's supported on that operating system, and it's probably a bigger ask to be like, hey, set up Ansible in your Windows environment than it is on a Linux environment. Like, if you're on a Linux environment, it's not that big of a deal because the dependency is SSH. It's like SSH and maybe a Python library on each guest, which you could actually set up with Ansible. So even if just like a rogue technician wants to set up shiftmon or push telegraph to a bunch of stuff with Ansible, they could. Um, but with Windows, yeah, you have to set up OpenSSH, I think, or use WinRM for transport, which I haven't seen a bunch of my experience. So that's why we're going to stick with PowerShell. Most people have a way of executing PowerShell scripts in their environment. So we'll end up sticking with that and have to do like the if logic for, oh, if I see this thing, download it. Yeah, which kind of sucks though. Because like if you have a big environment, pulling it all the configs from GitLab is kind of irresponsible. But if you do have that big of an environment, you can just put it on a file share and have it pull from there. I have done that on a client site before. Yeah, if you have any questions in the chat, remember to like the stream. Tell me what I'm doing wrong, more importantly. So, yeah. Let's get to it. I don't think there's anything else really missing from here. So, we can add that stuff later. Per CPU is set to false. Okay. Now let's go to Windows and let's add some performance monitors. So basically I'm going to see what is available inside of here and then start seeing if I can get that information in Telegraph. I do need to hit up some friends that are active Windows admins to see like what they want, because I can only really guess, and like to see if they have a home lab or a test environment that they could spin this up in. Because I'm not a Windows admin, to be honest. Open SMB. Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting scrolled super hard. Let's see what we can get for DNS. User time. Data flushes. You do control click? Yes, you can. Response received. The request sent. Success received. Dynamic updates. Then query dropped. Recursive queries a second. Or I think I want that one. No, does that? Oh, crap baskets. Okay, cool. So you can just add it as you go, which isn't a huge deal. So now user time, async reads. What the heck is AXFR? I'll have to pull that up. I have no idea what that means. AXFR DNS. Oh, zone transfers, that's what it is. I know that looked familiar. And the reason why it doesn't look that familiar is because I don't do like um I don't host my own DNS. I've heard people do that, but I think they're all crazy. Query dropped. Policy. I think that sounds important, that there's rate limiting. Recursive queries. I'm not doing the per second because you can do rate and derivative inside of Victoria metrics. Recursive queries. That sounds cool. Responses. Nope. TCP message memory. Total query received. Response time. That one sounds weird. I'm kind of throwing crap at the wall, and I'll probably look up. Oh, wins. Who even uses that? Zone transfer. Who cares? It's IPv6 stuff. Eh. Oh, HTTP service. See, this is one I wish I had a good excuse to set up Hyper-V, because I would have really liked to get Hyper-V stats like I do for vSphere and libvirt, but that requires setting up bare metal, which, I don't have a good spot to do that right now, because my laundry room / data center is currently full. You gotta have bandwidth monitoring. Memory, that's fine. Net logon, maybe? Less. Packet flow, packet, physical disk. I'm skipping all the processor stuff because we're using the um, Telegraph plugins for this, just so it's consistent across platforms. Yeah. Else was there? So we got DNS, directory services. That was the one. We'll start at the bottom and go up because there's a bunch of this stuff going through here. Holy crap. Warning events since boot? Maybe. Probably not. Oh crap, I'm having stream issues. I haven't dropped any packets. What? YouTube's not. Oh, there might be some buffering. Successful user creations, computer creations. Worship. Update password, notifications. I don't think those object numbers really matter that much. LDAP rights. That was a second. Start at the top of LDAP. Apps. Batch slots available. Bind time. Busy retry. Sessions. Delete operations. Modify. This is the kind of stuff I was looking for. Oh wow, some of these only have the derivative. Huh. Yeah, I'm throwing crap at the wall. I'm guessing I'm going to end up throwing like half of these out. Because some of these might be like the LDAP one might be identical to like the directory services one. Besides the addition of Kerberos, I'm not entirely sure what the difference is. So this is why I need to talk to some of my Windows admin friends, because like I know how to instrument things, but I sometimes need explainers on like, hey dude, what the hell is this? DRA. Client sessions. Okay. So we should have, I think, everything we need out of here. Directory services QoS policy. Maybe event log would be useful to gather someday, and even just like on like everything. Some of the SMB bytes a second would be cool to know. Bytes total. Add, send, add, receive. Number of error logons, number of logons. So I think some of the things I was hoping to gather out of metrics are going to have to be gathered through logs. So I was kind of hoping that I could gather the information about gather information about like the number of people logging on as a metric instead of a log. Sometimes it's easier to deal with metrics. You don't have to do like counts and stuff like that. So hash rate, whatever. Server workers. Not sure what that is. Like how this entire stream is just me showing off how much of an incompetent Windows admin I am. Bytes a second, write bytes a second. All that SMB goodness. We'll come back for the SMB shares. I'm not sure what's the difference between the SMBs. Oh, some of it might be crap. Some of it might be like per share information. Yeah. So you can see it's per share for like average. Yes. So I do want these. Average bytes. Sure. Bytes compressed. Files opened a second. Because knowing this on a file server would be valuable, but I think like the number of people using what is it? There's always going to be good use cases for using like SMB and NFS, but a lot of like boring business jobs, I guess I'll call it, where like people are dealing with small amounts of like Word documents or switching to things like Nextcloud or OneDrive. Um, Terminal services you. WinNat. That doesn't sound fun. Okay. So now we need to, well actually, can you drag this up? Can I not resize this? Dude, Windows is so cringe. Okay. So now we need to figure out how to add all of this stuff into a telegraph config and then sort it correctly. Cancel. Oh, okay. So don't do that one. Not push that button. And it doesn't even show you what. Can't like highlight over the time series either. You. Okay. So now we need to pull up VS Code. And we are going to do pull up IIS so I remember. That's IIS logs. How to do the performance counters. And then we'll do a new split for, or actually, let's think about this. Some of this stuff is just going to be like default Windows, whatnot. So let's do IIS and do a split for Telegraph. Then do, actually no, never mind. I do need to do new files. So let's do new file, ad.conf, and split to the right. So we need to do inputs, win, perf, counters. Inputs, win, perf, counters, dot objects. Okay. So let's do object name equals instances. We're gonna do star for all of these. Counters. Oh, helps if you like close out arrays. That could have been bad. Okay. So we need to do each request, and then since they're quoted strings, we should be able to use like goofy characters and stuff. I haven't dealt with this stuff in so long. Oh, I don't get lens, so it won't show you like what's actively worked on. Okay. So that's everything we need out of here. So now we should... Crap. Add a counter? No. Hide selected counters. Show selected counters? No. Okay, crap. Well, that's no bueno. DNS. What did we want? I have to do this all again. This is so dumb. That it doesn't, like, let you edit the profile? Scale selected counters, hide selected, show selected counters. Okay. Oh, so now it shows the object. Okay. Neat, neat, neat. Object name is DNS, instances all, and then the counter is going to be AXFR, response received. And I can't type. So, day that ends in Y, because I can't type. Query dropped by response rate limiting. Cursive, crap. Cursive, send timeouts. Total remote series. Then, okay. So that's all we got from that one. Oh, that might be why some of that IIS stuff never showed up. Because I was renaming the measurement, which I don't know if I want to do or not. Okay, so now if we want to test this, which would be the smart thing to do, I guess I could just done in Control A. Let's go here, and then I need to install, yeah, I can do that quick, I guess. PowerShell, Chaco install Notepad plus plus. Oh, one other thing I'm gonna run into problems with is using Chocolatey to install Telegraph in bigger environments. But I will deal with that when I get there. Because Windows just sucks at software delivery. And then, like, because the way it's dealt with on Linux is Telegraph just has a repo you can pull stuff from. Now, I like how it was on my screen and I didn't click on it and I saw it, but I was still just like, no. File, open, program files, Telegraph, new, file, ad.conf. Oh. God, I hate this about Windows. Mac does it too, where they like don't let you, they don't actually like show the file extension, so you name something like 80.conf and then it doesn't it doesn't show that there's like a .txt here. Properties. Details. Oh, I need to details. Yeah. Windows show file extensions. So I need to open a real file explorer window. Hopefully it's still the same and they haven't changed it around too much. And file names and extensions. There we go. Now this dialog box should pick that up. Program files. Telegraph. Rename. Okay, so now open you up. And then go to PowerShell. Service, restart Telegraph. I wonder, can you do tail in Windows? Tail a file Windows. Oh, it's restart service Telegraph. Can you do a follow though with tail? Let's see if this works. Oh, get content. C Windows temp. Wait, tail 30? Alright, yay, so that's working. One thing, let me look at the Telegraph. Is it actually shipping performance counter data? Okay, cool. So just shipping win perf counters, which is sick. Okay, so now let's pull up Grafana and see if it's showing up there, because it looks like tailing the file is showing that it's working. Let's filter by host. See what we're getting here. Percent. That's not good. That's really not good. Oop. Because these are just the default metrics. So I think what could be happening is that it's actually not showing any of the information. So. Let's go to here. clear. This is too small. Can you zoom in? Oh, cool. Control scroll works on Windows. It's actually nice. Clear. Okay, so C. Okay. C. Program files. What? So now we do telegraph, config, we'll do telegraph.dad.conf, test. Okay, so it is sending under the metric WinPerf counters. And those are perfect. So the labels are actually like, oh, yeah, Vicky's angry about that. Vicky is definitely, but that should be a label. Shouldn't be broken. Timeouts 5, remote. Yeah, so WinPerf counter should be sending that data. Even though there's 0, there's actually like recursive send timeouts there. The wildcard breaking it? I wonder if that's what's going on. It just needs a refresh. Oh, that was not smart to run that. Display name. Services, state, startup mode. It's actually getting all the basic stuff. Did I not restart Telegraph? Thought I did. So what I'm doing here is, it's like my service test. Oh, can you not do that in Windows? Boo. The end-to-end is like a trick to fork a process on Linux, where basically, if this returns 0, run the second command. So, can't do that on Windows. Or you have to do it differently. I bet there's a different way to do it. That's not good. The logs is receiving a 401. Which I need to fix. I wonder if it didn't save in the script or I gave it that info. So let's debug that really quick. Let's go to VS Code, go to the PowerShell script. IIS. Crap. So I need to go to Telegraph configs, scripts. There it is. Windows, Telegraph, setup, Telegraph install. So let's copy this guy. I usually do this in the PowerShell ISE. There's root. Okay, so let's do. Okay, so it is Windows. I'm aware that there is a password on screen. I can change it after. Keep like shaking my own confidence. So if I was smart, I would just do this. And get rid of everything up until then in the page. Happening. And I guess copying downward doesn't work because Windows things. Lovely. Alright, so Loki user, area password user. That's all Poggy. User Loki password. Oh. That's what it is. Loki has Loki username in it in the variable I had in the script I was installing. Loki underscore user. Okay. Cool. So that's what was going on. It was just a simple password thing, and it's actually fixed in the template script. And that's one thing I do like about using like a config management tool like Ansible. Is that you just have to fill out a form correctly. You don't have to like have copy paste errors. Okay, so now if I go to here, shouldn't see as many 401s. So restart Telegraph. Now we should start seeing some of this stuff. Yeah, because now we're not getting 401 errors, which is good. Now, should see. What the hell? It's not showing up. The Fender stuff wasn't showing up either. So it is loading perf counters and win services. Yeah, so it's loading everything. The one way to fix this would be to edit the main Telegraph config and then see what the metric name is or if that is causing issues with it. So we're going to open Telegraph, telegraph.conf. We're going to go here. And we are going to comment out name pass, and then we are just going to send it everything, which is going to make Victoria Metrics very angry, but it will give us better information. So restart Telegraph, follow the file. and then see what we see. Because it should be collecting this every 10 seconds, so we should be seeing some data flowing through here, but we're not. And it could be something dumb like case sensitivity or something like that. Still not. Nah. Is any of that DNS stuff even showing up? No, because it was showing up in the config. And it does have a config counter for the input. I wonder if it's a bad label value. So maybe doing a tag drop would help. Or it's like sending an invalid metric name or something weird like that. So I think you just do like a tag drop at the end. I think I actually do have an example of that in main config. Oh, I'm doing a field drop. Okay. So tag drop. Okay. So I would do a tag drop here. It would look something like inputs dot when perf counters then tag drop dot tag drop 1 2 3 4. Then once I get data in, I'm definitely calling it a stream. Oh, but this will drop. Tag drop the in-person TFS. If a metric is found, the metric is discarded. Okay. So that's different. Yeah, never mind. Because then that will drop everything with the... need to elaborate on my thoughts more on stream. So I need to drop every tag. Sorry. I need to redact it, not drop it. So tag drop will drop that information from the sample. And Sleuth is going pretty good. It's going pretty good, and apparently too good because I decided to monitor Windows stuff. So now, yeah, so now it's just angry about this service, but it's still showing like when services status. Okay. Yeah. So this should just be yeeting everything in here, or everything to, call it to the Victorian metrics. Whether or not it's happy about it, it's another. Oh, I can I can see it desynced now. Thanks for catching that. I'm gonna cut the stream really quick, and see if that fixes it. Be right back. Alright, stream should be back, hopefully. Come on, go back. Let me know if my audio is still desynced. If my audio is desynced, I might just do the lazy thing and hide my camera. Swap, Net packets. Is it even like catching? Oh, that's not good. Browse. Awfully bold to assume of me that. Okay. Well, this is not good. It's not sending any data now. Oh yeah, I changed it to ew. Oh my gosh. Smooth brain moment. Wow. Don't fire me. Please don't fire me. I forgot I named it you. Yeah, there it is. So there's the data. Okay, so now let's actually configure this correctly. Let's put the name pass back to make sure that this is working correctly. And then do that. And there's something else I wanted to test out too with the wind event viewer config, which is I have a very elaborate. Well, I guess I can't actually test it now. Telegraph.com Thunder. Okay. So in here, this is just god awful, where it has, it's basically just taking the space and putting it here, and I brute forced it for all of this. And this is very clearly not sustainable, because every time like the Windows event format for Defender changes, it'll be bad. And I think my audio is still desynced, so I might just mute the camera for the rest of the stream. That's the lazy way of dealing with it anyway. Now, we go to Telegraph, we go to plugins. So to do it more sustainably, I think there's actually a way to, in the Windows Win event log, in this plugin, there's actually a way of separating out fields. Now, XPath query, there's like a separator character to use for unrolled data XML fields, which I do not believe I am using. Only first line of message. Fields. So this separator field might help. I believe that was the case. Event log name. If not, we could always just revert it back. So we have data from here gathered. That's kind of the exciting part. I'll do the like copy pasta stuff off stream. It's past my stream time anywho. So let's go for .conf, and let's do whatchamacallit. Instead of 80, I need to do Telegraph. One more file open. Vendor, open. So basically, we just get rid of all this nonsense and then put a separator. Then hopefully that will actually get rid of everything. I guess it would be smart to do a Telegraph I hate the Windows shell so much. See if we're actually getting output. So it's not receiving any outputs, which is scary. So let's go to Event Viewer. And then if I just have like the wrong path, Vendor should have its own event path. System. Or is it application? Microsoft. What the heck? Application, no. Security. Heck. Path query path. How does is Defender not enabled? Enabled. Virus and threat protection. Microsoft Windows. That's not good. Yeah, I'll have to figure that off off stream. I'm gonna stop streaming. Thanks for coming, everybody. Have a good day.